Notes on how to solve equations. This is the first one. 5x plus 2 equals 4x minus 7. So I'm going to write down the algebra steps over on the notes and talk through the algebra tiles over here. I've got the tiles set up. Everything's up in the positive region because there are no parentheses with a negative in front. So on one side of the equation we've got 5 x's and 2 1's. On the other side of the equation we've got 4 x's and minus 7. And so our steps are generally going to be anything in the opposite region flip first. There's nothing in the opposite region for this one. So now we're going to talk about moving the x's to one side. Technically you can move them from either side. Typically we move wherever there are more positive x's. And so there are 5 x's on the left, 4 on the right, and so I'm going to move them from the right to the left. And whenever I move them, I flip them, right? Whether I'm flipping from top to bottom or from side to side. So when I move this x over, I flip it, it becomes negative. When I flip this x over, it becomes negative. When I move this x over, it becomes negative. When it moves this x over, it becomes negative. And the way I'm going to record that on my note sheet is I'm just going to say that I have negative 4 x's on both sides. Right? Negative 4 x's on both sides. Now, I didn't put the negative 4 x's over here because all that happens on that side is they wipe out the positives that were over here. And so all that's left on the right-hand side are those minus 7 1's, right? The minus 7 1's. What happens on the left-hand side? Well, now we're going to look for what we call zeros or opposite pairs. And so anytime two things are opposites, they're going to zero each other out. And so we're really just combining like terms. And so this one and this one, the positive and the negative one, are going to cancel each other out. This one and this one are going to pair up. This one and this one. So I'm pairing up a positive and a negative pair. This one and this one are going to pair up. And so all that's left on the left-hand side now is x, right? Just one x. And these 2 1's are still hanging out. We didn't do anything with those. And so that's my first step of the equation, is I took the x's that were on the right, moved them on the left, I combined them with the things that were there, and now I'm at this stage. I now want to figure out what x is, and so I'm going to get rid of the numbers. And so the numbers are always going to move the opposite direction that the x's move. So I move the x's from right to left. I'm going to move the numbers from left to right. When I move them, they flip. And so I'm now recording that I'm moving minus 2 to both sides. Right? What happens on the left? Well, on the left, all that's left is the x. The minus 2 canceled out the plus 2. On the right, I've got a bunch of little negative 1's, and you can count them up over here, or you can just do the math in your head over here. Negative 7 minus 2 more is negative 9. And so this is just what I wanted. I now know what x is. X is negative 9. And so that's the only value that keeps those two sides of the equation balanced. So that's equation number 1. Watch the next video for equation number 2.